Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Hi, I'm Miss Shalina. Today we will proceed for option for going into business for this subject, BSMAN 3004. Okay, so without further ado, I will proceed. Okay, in this module outline, there is some issue to consider when before we going into business. Okay, and then also, the second point, we will learn about how to start a new business. And the third one, we will purchasing an existing business. And number four, entering a franchise system. And the last one, some procedural step when starting a business venture. So basically, in this topic, we will go into what's the options that the staff or I'm sorry, the entrepreneur, okay, the entrepreneur who going into the business, there is some option strategies in order to make sure that whether they start with the sole proprietorship or maybe the partnership or maybe they go with by buying other existing business or maybe they go for franchise. Okay, so we look into the first one. Okay, so this is a three issue to consider before going into the business. Number one, there is three major factors. Number one, what are the personal goal and the abilities of the owner or the entrepreneur. So when we're talking about the personal goal and abilities, meaning to say what actually the entrepreneur want to achieve in terms of to gain the profit in short terms, or maybe they want to gain the profit in the long terms. Of course, somehow when we as a new entrance of the business, right, we want to get easy and a very quick profits, right? So what is their personal goals in order to expanding the business, or maybe they want to have been recognized by the customer, so that's why maybe they choose for like a franchise business. Okay, so because mostly that franchise business, they already stable in terms of the branding and also their trademark, and we just polish a little bit on our marketing side, and then we know that the existence that we are doing this franchising. Okay, I hope that you can clear on this. Okay. Okay, and then the second one, what resources they are available to the business owner. For example, in terms of the money, staff, and also time. So this is, I believe that in the factors of the production process that we need land, man, okay, capital, and also entrepreneur, right? So meaning to say, this is very important, especially when it comes to the capital, because when we're talking about the money itself, even though we have to the money but we can't manage it well, there is some loss there. So basically what we need is the money to have possible stuff and also the time, okay, in order to ensure that possibility that can be done. So I believe that in terms of the money, okay, this is a very important to make sure that yeah, I believe that the money is very important, okay, and to make sure that the business can be run well, okay, and for the staff itself, in order to assist the business as well, to the to assist the business, of course, um we do have the entrepreneur whereby we know normally when entrepreneur, he's the one who are the planner, he's the one who will become organizer, who will become a leader, he will become a controller. So without the staff, actually staff is need in order to make sure that the business can be managed well. Meaning to say we just lead it, and then we delegate the task, and then the staff will assist us. Okay, so basically for the new entrants like sole proprietorship, we don't need to have a very multiples like more than 50 workers. Actually, they have less than, for the new entrants, maybe less than 10. It might be, it depends on how what industry business that you entering. And the third one, when we're talking about the time is very important too, because we're talking about whether you want to have the long term or you want to have the short term. So of course, as a new entrant business, we want to have the quick, something like quick investment, right? Quick return on investment. So to make sure that we can get the quick services, quick what we call return on investment. At the same time, we have to make sure that the time can be aligned according to our plan. So that's why business plan is very important to make sure that we are in the right track. Okay, so we have to make sure that all our business plan that we are planning in our business plan is going on according to what we expected. So if let's say it's not be according to the expected, maybe we have to do some improvisation on that. And then the third one, what is the nature of the business opportunity? So in here we're talking about what is the business opportunity that we can grab. Okay, so when talking about the business opportunity itself, I believe that is somehow to give some the nature that we have some explore and do some market research on that, and we believe that the demand is there. So I think that lots of the nature of business opportunity that we can gain, unless you are not do some basic research. The fundamental part steps is you have to do the market research, okay, because this is very important. Because in order to make sure that go into the business, we have to do something like tabayun, that is Arabic word tabayun, or maybe you do some investigation to look into what is the potential prospect of the business that can gain, okay, the business can gain. All right, so we're moving on to the next. Okay, so this is the three issues that have been transformed into the diagram. There is the opportunity, resources, and the owner or the entrepreneur, and then we do have the identity here. Okay, and there will be fits and gaps. It's to look into good things. Okay, and I believe that there will be possibility to have those fits. Okay, meaning to say the opportunity, the owner, and resources is aligned together, then there will be like fits. Okay, but if let's say they have a loop there, the possibility to have like how to say that, something like possibility to have loop, okay, loop, something like hole there. So there must be a gaps there. Okay, all right, so we're moving on to the next one. Okay, what is the options for going into business? Okay, they have three major options available. Number one, we launch a new startup business venture, meaning to say we start new. Okay, I might say it's like putting into a starter, okay, basics from the scratch. So it's so called as sole proprietorship, sole. Okay, and of course it's quite challenging because we do not know what is our expectation. Okay, and I believe that we also don't know what can be the barriers and the challenges. And I believe that as a new starter business venture, you have to do a very thorough research, okay, on that, okay, market research. And the second one, we purchase an existing firms. This is like acquisition and merge and M&A, merge and acquisition, meaning to say you buy, okay, meaning to say this is in international business subject we so called as brownfield strategy. Okay, brownfield strategy whereby we buy the business is already exists, but maybe that business is not so perform well. So this is what happened between the Lotus company and also Tesco, not Lotus company, the car brand, but this is Lotus retailer from Thailand who will actually take over the Tesco. Is around the corner, okay, waiting for the time. Okay, and the third one we have enter a franchise arrangement. So this is basically that I told you it previously, whereby we need some what we call established steps and path. Okay, meaning to say you want that your customer have quick recognize on you your existence, so that's why you choose this strategy. Because basically franchise business they have their own strategy in terms of the branding strategy. Okay, branding strategy is already well versed, and that make, okay, the customer is already familiar with your product or services. All right, so we're moving on to this is actually very popular in final, not final, but it's like a test for this subject. So there will be like maybe I, because it cannot fit after all in here. Okay, so this is advantages and disadvantage of starting a new business. So we do have some particular advantages versus disadvantage. Advantage is the pro, and as the advantage is for the cons. Okay, number one, we will do some control the business. Okay, so when we're talking about control the business direction, meaning um we are the sole proprietor, we are the owner, right? So we are the one who doing those the plan. I told you the plan, the organize, okay, the lead, and also the controlling process, the POLC one. So even staffing also done by you. So you have 100% of authority and also a power to control a dominant on that business because it belongs to you. You are the owner. That is the good things because when you start with your own business, start from scratch. And the second one, in terms of the flexibility, you can open up at what time that you want. Basically, new entrepreneur, they have a very disciplined time at 10, maybe open shop at 10 and close by 5 or by 10 p.m. At night, for example. So they have the flexibility. Maybe they have some emergency, or maybe they need some to close down, to shut down their close, right? Their shop. So that's why they can maybe put some signage and say, we apologize to all the customers. So today we have some emergency matters, so we have to close down earlier than expected time. So this is the flexibility, okay? Because you are not work with others, right? So you have the time, you have the rights in order to open up and also close down what time you want. And then the third one, in terms of the cost minimization. So in terms of the cost itself, we are talking about the capital. So we start the capital with the low capital compared, okay, if you go for franchise, or maybe you go for buying the existing business. Because when we're talking about the cost minimization, meaning to say you minimize the cost as low that you can, how much you afford to start. So there will be like a very low cost, and then you can go and proceed with that. And then number four, we have the lifestyle goals. When we're talking about lifestyle goals, we're talking about how does the business able, um how to say that, achieve on your own way. So is it following the trending, the current state, or maybe it's obsolete business? So you have your lifestyle goal on how you want to achieve those business. So people cannot have some like a thoughtful, or maybe asking you, or maybe have a questionable on what strategy you want, because that is actually your own business. So you have your own way. You get me? All right. So for this advantage, we have raising capital, because it's very difficult to raise capital, especially we want to put some interest on that, because this is quite a slow business. Because I didn't say, I'm not condemning that is a very how to say that, a very bad strategy, but in order to raise out the capital is quite a very slow, because we start with the low capital too, okay? And it takes time, maybe in order to establish, maybe take 5 years or 10 years in order to become stable. And the second one, lack of the customer base, because this is the new business entrance, and maybe in the product life cycle, okay, the graph itself is only just stated you have in the introduction and growth stage. In order to have in the maturity stage, it take times. But in term of the customer, in order to take, how to say that, in order to have make sure that the customer is known you exist, known your existence. Okay, so must be have some like, how to say that, lack of customer base. Okay, so they take time in order to make sure that the business be noted by the customer. And the third one, in terms of the cash flow pattern, okay, so this is a very um problem too, because somehow the current issue mostly been explained, mostly prominent. Can I say that the problem that obviously happen in this kind of starting a new business or sole proprietorship, because the entrepreneur do not actually separated between their own personal money and also business money. So there will be like mix there. And then what potential that can be is you do not know how much that you earn for your business, and otherwise you might say that your business money is your own money. So this is a most problematic because you are controlling everything. You do not have your specific account department or finance department to do your cash flow, okay, to do your profit, for example like profit margin, in order to do your balance sheets, in order to know how much that what we call cash flow, all right. And then the last one, learning the curve expensive. So in here we can see because liability is unlimited for start from scratch, like start a new business. So liability is unlimited and no one will control you. And then when come to expenses, sometimes you are over budgeting. So this is quite difficult to be disciplined, especially when they are very enthusiastic and also excited to do the new business, right? Everything you want to renovate, everything you want to start new. So bear in mind, because you are new business, okay, you start with the slow step, baby step, okay, in order to get a larger step. Can I are you get me? So meaning to say slowly, start with small, and then you get a time in order to go and go. Of course, as the new entrance, as an entrepreneur, you have to be a high risk taker, but at the same time you have to also controlling in terms your expenses. All right, so we're moving on to the typical outlay for the startup venture. So mostly what they have to do, this is the list of checking: licenses and the permits. Of course, the permits may be so do with the staff itself, and licenses is how the licensing itself, whether you have to go to municipal body. And then working capital, of course, we are talking about the capital that you need, the cash flow, okay? I mean, like the cash, or maybe you granted from the bank. And the third one, telecommunication and IT, we're talking so-called, especially in this kind of the pandemic COVID-19, right? We need some like camera, we need some like internet connection. We do have our own laptop here, okay? So we must have this, okay? We have need some like a local public call, okay, or telephone, okay. And then operating plan and also equipment, meaning to say that your site itself, where you want to go. And also staff recruitment, we are talking about the recruitment of the staff, okay, who you want to be with you. So I believe on the 3R of acronym, which is select the right people at the right time, at the right place, at the right position. And of course, we have to equip them with the insurance, not only to the staff, but the premise itself. Sometimes you leasing a certain premise or buying a building, or maybe rental some working space. So you need to get some insurance towards that. And the raw materials, okay, where you want to get your raw materials from the low cost or the most efficiency of suppliers. And then we need some premise, okay, we need for example like renting, okay, or yeah, rental. And office suppliers, for example, all the stationery and the furnitures, fixings, fittings, and so forth. All right, so we're moving on to the next one, how we want to reducing the startup cost. So of course, the home-based startups can be the option to reduce startup cost. So as I told before, because you are the new entrance of the business, no need everything have to be new and to be at the new places, okay, because we have to start to control, okay, your expenses. So the first being stated here is to have some start from home. So using your home as the startup business, okay, this is what they do. Majority, okay, nowadays entrepreneur, especially online entrepreneur, did start from home. They use their home as a part of place to do the operation. So it can actually save a lot, especially the rental cost, and also if you want to buy the building itself, okay. And benefits of starting an enterprise from home can include reduced traveling costs, no rental fees, and use of the existing household goods. So you can use, if let's say you want to do start with like selling food online, right? So you can instead to buy the new asset like all your mixer, to buy your wok, okay, to buy your utensil, everything, you can use at the same time for the moment whatever that have at your household. So there will be no such, how to say that, too much on rather than buying the new thing on that, okay. And then issue to consider include financial record keeping. So this is most important basically, but this is what the things that mostly entrepreneur with financial record. For them, okay, everything in my mind, in my brain, but actually it's not good like that. Okay, even you do some very simple jot, jotting something down, where's the money go, where's the money in, where's the money out. So at least they have the financial record, okay, with debit and credit at least. And local government laws, this is talking about when you're applying your license to the municipal. Insurance coverage, okay, so this is to the insurance company. And also the personal security, okay, what have you been taken. For example, you provide something like CCTV, to maybe you are monitoring your staff whether they are doing the work, or maybe they have to be like yeah, it's a new business, right? Sometimes the employees are still not motivated to do because they can't see what is the potential return. But of course, you have to, they have like maybe hidden seeking camera, so they have a personal security on that. And of course, I believe that everybody have like a SOXO. This is something that covers insurance for employee safety and health. Alright, so the second actually strategy option for the business is purchasing an existing business. Okay, so they do have the advantage, disadvantage as the first one. Start with your own new business. Okay, number one, for the advantages, can begin the trading immediately. So meaning to say in here, of course, as the business, okay, we want to be like how to say that, because you know the potential of this business, okay. So believe me, when you see the prospect or the potential on that, so you start to say, I want to buy this business, okay. So it can be, of course, for the company who are maybe not perform well. When someone want to buy your company, of course you will say, okay, we do it quickly, we do as soon as possible. So can be begin immediately because everything is there, okay. Maybe because they're not facilitated with financial stable financial, so that's why they cannot perform. But if you do have the financial stability on that, and the business is there, then you can immediately start your business. So this is what happened for our owner of AirAsia X, Dato Tony Fernandez. Okay, what he would do was he buy the bankruptcy airline company because the two old aircraft is actually have there. And what he did was he just polishing the marketing strategy and try to make and come back this airline company. So the staff is there, unless the staff also have actually totally lost, okay, in terms of their salary. So of course when they see someone is coming back and want to rebuild the new image of the company, of course they go for it, okay. And then the second one, easier to arrange the finance for the venture, because mostly the spread company which is not performed just now, okay, the company who will be actually selling their business, they believe that when they have the potential, they go for that. Okay. So they said as long that the business can go and perform as usual. And then the third one, establish the track record, customer and also brand. Okay. So when we're talking about establish the track record, meaning to say the company has their own name basically. Okay. But in order to make it come back, right? So that's why a newcomer will do that part. And of course, the customer is also there, and the brand is also stable there. Okay, like what happened to Tesco, right? The customer is there, brand is there. There will be rebranding after this, and the track record is good. Okay, I mean there is a potential customer will come, right? The name is there, so just do it, okay? And then for disadvantages in terms of less flexible than a startup, because you already buy and purchase existing business, right? Most probably people will compete with the previous management, so you cannot flexible with whatever that have in the startup strategy. And the second one, difficult to establish purchase price, because yeah, because this is talking about how to say that, because you want to establish, okay, how much that you buy, okay. So of course you wouldn't say it, that is how to say that, you cannot pro announcing to the public how much you pay for that, right? Because it potentially to make other people might be have some uh low convincing towards your business. So whatever is between the management, previous management, and the current management. And the last one may inherit the existing liabilities. So this is the most actually, can I say the utmost, okay, problem, because you have to actually, how to say that, continue the liabilities, the debt. Maybe it considered as the bad debt of the business, and yeah, there will be potential to have like to settle down everything. This is what happened to Asia before. So Dato Tony Fernandez have to settle down the debt of previous airline, which cannot pay their salary, staff salary, and then they also have the amounts of such a billion, okay, to the financial institutions. And so called he just take a risk, because this is he been challenged by Tun Mahathir, our previous prime minister before. Yeah, rather than you want to set up the new business, you will do the business. Okay. All right. I stop for now. Okay, I will continue in another business. I mean like another video. Okay. All right. Thank you for now.